The Dallas Cowboys have just found their head coach in Brian Schottenheimer, and he is an offensive-minded head coach. And so today we're going to be fixing the Dallas Cowboys offense, and we're going to keep this realistic in a sense as I'm going to spend a little bit of money. I know that's not something Dallas likes to do, but I won't spend a crazy amount of money. I'm going to let guys walk. I'm trying to keep this as realistic as possible while still fixing the offense. That's the plan for this video. But right now there's one gigantic need for the Dallas Cowboys on offense, and it's not even really a position, it's a group in its playmakers. Whether it be in the pass catching group or in the run game, the Cowboys are not well equipped at that area. You look at the offense and it's CeeDee Lamb, you have Jake Ferguson, who was quite frankly terrible this year. A lot of mental mistakes, drops, fumbles, false starts, bad things that you can't have from your starting tight end. But then again, it was him and CeeDee Lamb. I don't think Jalen Tolbert is a wide receiver 2. I don't even really think he's a wide receiver 3. I know some people do. I personally am not high on Jalen Tolbert. And then you have guys like Jonathan Mingo. Rico Dowdle was good, but I think if you pair him up with the right guy, he gets even better. If you look at the Eagles, they pair him up with Saquon Barkley, and I'm not saying that the Cowboys' offensive line is like Saquon Barkley, but the Cowboys' offensive line is not bad. You're slated to lose Zach Martin, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But even with that loss, I don't think you're a bad offensive line by any means. But without further ado, we're going to get into how to fix this offense and how to start. You got to realize who you're losing. So the offensive free agents for the Dallas Cowboys, we'll do this video entirely for the defense after. But we're going to start with this. And again, offensive coordinator to be named yet. They've interviewed Falcons tight end coach. I forgot his name. I don't really think it's going to matter. Brian Schottenheimer is going to call the plays. He's got his design. It's basically the continuity. The Cowboys love that, and I think that's why they hired him. So I think you'll see a couple similar things. I think he has his own designs that he wants to run. The offensive free agents in 2025 for the Cowboys consist of Brandon Cooks, Zach Martin, Trey Lance, Cooper Rush, Trent Sieg if you want to count the long snapper, Chuma Edoga, Rico Dowdle, Brock Hoffman, Kevontae Turpin. Those are all the free agents for the Dallas Cowboys. You have $23 million, and you might say, well, that's not a lot, and I'd agree with you, but there are many, many ways the Dallas Cowboys can get millions and millions more. If you restructure Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, those restructures are built into the contract. You save $56 million combined. If you want to restructure Terrence Steele, it's $9 million. I'm going to cut Terrence Steele $4 million. That's how much we save. You got $83 million to spend. Tons of holes on this offense. I mentioned both quarterbacks, Trey Lance and Cooper Rush, are out for free agency. I'm not paying Cooper Rush. I'm going to take Trey Lance, and this is more of, I gave up a 4th round pick for him. I'm not going to let him walk. I'm giving him the vet minimum, $950,000, somewhere around there. And we're going to let him be the quarterback too. He showed me in the Washington game in Week 18 that, he's a backup quarterback, and that's fine. I know Dak has had a few injuries, but he's a quarterback too, and I don't have a problem with paying him, especially when you gave up a 4th round pick. Next, Rico Dowdle. I'm going to give him 2 years, $6.5 million, $4 million guaranteed. Rico dealt with a terrible scheme, terrible usage, and was still a 1,000-yard rusher this year on pretty good efficiency. And again, like I said, you give him a breather next year, and you include a game breaker at running back, and he'll produce even more, in my opinion. And that's massive to me. Next, we're going to go ahead and keep Brock Hoffman 3 years, $15 million, $7 million of that is guaranteed. He's difficult to project when it comes to a new deal because before this year he really didn't play a lot, and he wasn't really good when he did play. But this year he stepped up in a massive way once Zach Martin went down. I'm willing to take a chance on him. He showed that he can do his job at a pretty good level, and he's played multiple positions on the line. He played some center, he played some guard. I'm ready to give him some money. So Kevontae Turpin is a restricted free agent. I think Brock Hoffman is too. I'm going to give both of them contracts instead of offers. And we're going to give Kevontae Turpin 2 years, $10 million, $4 million guaranteed. These contracts, I don't know how good I am with projecting contracts, especially someone like Turpin. He's been a special teams ace. He produced this year when he got the ball, but The plan for me, at least in this offense next year, was to really just get him the ball on special gadget plays. I don't need him being a wide receiver 2 or 3 in this offense. I don't really know what the market's going to look like for him. He's a must-resign to me, though. He's dangerous with the football. You need to get him the football. He's dangerous. You use him the right way. He's someone who can change the entire game for you. So we spent a little bit of money. We had $86 million. We have $75 million to spend in free agency. Again, this is me just making changes to the offensive side of the ball. You can generate more if you touch the defensive side of the ball. I'm not going to do that in this video. That's a video for next time. And then after, I'll combine it and kind of just make like a big summary of how I would take this offseason if I'm the Dallas Cowboys. So we have about $75 million to spend, and for my first free agency acquisition, I'm taking Alaric Jackson, 3 years, $24 million, 12 of that is guaranteed. Alaric Jackson is the left tackle for the LA Rams. He was an undrafted free agent who spent his entire time in LA. He's been very good this year, or at least compared to the other years. He took a massive step forward in pass production, and he's always been a pretty good run blocker. And I'm making this sign, maybe he doesn't have to be, the everyday starter for 3 years. He provides amazing depth. He plays left tackle, so if you want to slide Guyton back over to his natural position at right tackle, you want to keep Tyler Smith at left guard, and you can go Beebe and Hoffman. I think that's one of the better offensive lines, not only in just the NFC, but in the NFL. So this is the only other offensive addition I'm making through free agency. I'm going to attack the other ways through the draft. I personally like going for skill positions through the draft, but I am going to take Stefon Diggs, 2 years, $36 million, $14 million guaranteed. Brother of Trayvon Diggs. Stefon Diggs tore his ACL early in the Houston season, and maybe he would take a team-friendly deal since him and Trayvon Diggs are brothers. I bet they want to play together. The Cowboys like offering guys and getting guys for cheap, and I don't think Stefon Diggs' value's ever been lower considering he's coming off the ACL tear. He wouldn't be the number one option. What we saw in Houston, he was hooping. He was doing his job at a pretty high level before the ACL, and again, he gets a lot of pressure taken off, just like he did in Houston when Nico Collins was the wide receiver 1. So again, he's the number 2 option. Now you're rocking into this offense with, still a needed running back, coming into the draft with a needed running back, and you're coming into the draft with a need for another wide receiver, more long-term. And so you go to the draft. This is not a mock draft by any means, but these are just guys I have sorted out, loosely ranked, as who I would want. So at 12, this is no trade downs, no trade ups, anything like that. At 12, Teteroa McMillan, Ashton Jeanty, Luther Burden, Emeka Ibuka. Again, only offense if there's a defensive playmaker there, and none of these guys are there. Take them. These are guys I would love in round 2, or if you traded down for him. Matthew Golden, he's a wide receiver at Texas. Amarian Hampton, running back at North Carolina. Elik Aomanar, I think I'm probably mispronouncing that, but wide receiver at Stanford. Gray Zabel is a tackle at North Dakota State University. Savion Williams is a wide receiver at TCU. Xavier Restrepo, wide receiver at Miami. Dylan Sampson, running back at Tennessee. Into round 3, I just grouped up round 3 through 7. You don't have a 4th round pick, you have 3 5th round picks. So these, again, no order really, but Cam Skattebo, running back at Arizona State. Harold Fannin is a tight end at Bowling Green. Jalen Royals is a wide receiver at Utah State. Gunnar Helm, tight end at Texas. Travion Henderson, running back at Ohio State. Charles Grant is a tackle at William & Mary. Tez Johnson, wide receiver at Oregon. Devin Neal, running back at Kansas. Trey Harris, wide receiver at Ole Miss. Quinshon Judkins, running back at Ohio State University. Donovan Jackson is a tackle at Ohio State University. And RJ Harvey is a running back at UCF. And obviously, many, many more. I didn't want to ramble. One of these running backs, one of these receivers. And so now you have an offense of, for example, let's say you get Luther Burden and you get Travion Henderson. Now you come out week 1 with an offense of Dak Prescott at quarterback, Travion Henderson, Rico Dowdle at running back, CeeDee Lamb, Stefon Diggs, Luther Burden at receiver, and you have Jake Ferguson at tight end. I think that would line up with one of the best offenses in the NFC. I think they go toe-to-toe with the Detroit Lions. And I honestly believe that that offense could put up pretty ridiculous numbers if Brian Schottenheimer was a half-decent play caller. The offense could be lethal, but I spent money. I only signed 2 guys. I spent money. Cowboys have to spend money to be good. That's how the other 31 franchises run things. You spend money, you have a higher chance of being good. Will the Cowboys do it this year? I don't know. Hopefully they do. But I'll be back with a defensive video at some point in time. Until then, peace.